Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day, and if not, I wish you a better one tomorrow. For today's video, I am doing another movie review. But this time, the movie I'm going to review is Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And for the sake of this review, I'm only going to refer to this movie as DBS Superhero, because there's too much super in the whole thing. Before I go on any further than this, I would like you guys to please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel, get you guys more videos, and who knows, you might like what you see on there. Okay, with that out of the way, I'm going to give you guys the whole lowdown on how the whole video works. So this way you guys can kind of get the whole template. So I start off by giving you guys a little brief summary of the film, so that you know that I've seen it, and you kind of get the idea of what it is. Then I talk about the things I like and dislike within the movie. That's the next part. And then finally, I give you guys my whole ranking out of 10 of the film and give you a little explanation on why it hasn't gotten this or what is holding it back. Now, with everything established, let's start the review. So when it comes to DBS Superhero, this film this time around focuses on Gohan and Piccolo being the main characters of this story, where you see their everyday life and how they live mostly. Being that Piccolo is kind of upset at Gohan and holding himself back, but at the same time, Gohan had to pay the bills, even though he doesn't really need to. But when the story goes on, you are reminded that the Red Ribbon Army used to be a thing. They used to be like this force in the beginning of Dragon Ball, and somewhat prominent a little bit in DBZ. But you're given a little bit of a background in their explanation on what type of organization they really are. Which, in other words, they're the big bad of this movie. And it's up to Gohan and Piccolo and the others to stop and foil the plans of the Red Ribbon Army. Now, with that summary out of the way, I'm going to tell you guys what I enjoyed in this film and what I didn't like at all. Now, overall, I just want to say, before people get carried away, when I say the things I didn't like, I enjoyed this movie. Not as much as the other films, but I enjoyed this movie. I like the little bits of Easter eggs they put in the movie, which overall made me enjoy it a lot. I enjoyed the appearance of Goku and Vegeta, even though it's very, very minor, along with the other characters like Broly and Chilai, pretty much just knowing how to take the back seat. The one thing I love the most in this entire film overall is the new abilities that Piccolo and Gohan have obtained. Being able to see that in action a little bit is nice. Now, moving on to the things I really disliked in this movie. The biggest dislike I have in this film is the animation choice. Now, there might be a reason as to why they've chose this animation style, but I don't like it. And I don't want to compare it to the other movies and be like, well, you know, I like Resurrection F because of the animation choice, or oh man, I loved the Broly movie because of the animation style and that. Now, the team behind those animations might be busy, so, you know, I'm not going to go far into detail with that, but I don't really find myself taken by the whole animation. Not trying to say like, oh, I seen better. It just makes me feel like I'm watching a cutscene to like Tenkaichi or Xenoverse. Which, honestly, at that point, I would rather just sit down and watch the cutscenes on YouTube of Xenoverse, just to look at the details. Another thing that I disliked is how we don't see too much of Gohan's new form. Like, the second you see it, it's gone in an instant. Now, Piccolo's we see for a good portion, and I appreciate it, as well as like a throwback to one of his abilities that's kind of forgotten about in the sticks. But I expect more. And speaking of expecting more, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more fighting. I know they spent their time talking, and there's also a good reason for why there's not too much fighting, but still, I want to see, you know, more hands being thrown, you know, more fades going around. There's just not much of that in this film. And the very last thing I don't like in this movie is even though they have included Goku and Vegeta, I just don't like how they try to go like, yeah, this is a reason why they're not here. But it kind of makes me think back to either Resurrection F or, you know, the DBS show version of Resurrection F, on how Goku was able to sense energy all the way from where he was on Beerus's planet, and yet he couldn't stop for 1 minute just to sense like that massive power surge going on Earth. I mean, I know he can't find or teleport to Earth, but he can still sense that energy. Or that, like, Beerus could have been like, hey, something going on Earth. Don't mind it. It's fine. It's gonna get taken care of. But we don't really get any hints or really any, like, thing pointing that out. But with my little gripes out of the way of the film, I enjoy this movie, and I don't want people to think that I'm just ultimately hating it because of the things that I really disliked. It's a good movie. That's the important thing I want to emphasize here. It's a good movie. I mean, it's not the Dragon Ball movie that I would choose if, you know, I want to have like a night, like hanging out with my brother, for example, and be like, hey, let's watch a Dragon Ball movie. I'll probably sit there and be like, let's watch the Broly movie, and then let's watch Resurrection F, and then that'll probably be it. But the ranking I would give this film is a 7 out of 10. And I recommend people to watch it if you like Dragon Ball. You know, I wouldn't try to sit and wait to go watch it. You know, find it on Amazon or any other sources or ways you can watch this movie. But, you know, there are ways you can get to this film. I hope you guys enjoyed this review for this movie. And I also hope you like, comment, and subscribe. But without any further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.